is Liz Partsch,
And I am Paul Rowley.
and welcome to Farm and Dairy's Weekly Rundown.
We will be giving you a rundown of all of the latest news of the last week. And quite a issue we had this
Yeah.
week, I think. So, yeah. it was just
News-packed
exciting.
issue.
Yeah, indeed it
So,
was. Yeah. Well,
Cool.
I want to kick off. I can
Yeah.
kick us. Okay. Well, I will kick us
Go
off.
for it.
Liz, happy government shutdown eve.
Yeah.
Is the appropriate button for that?
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Yeah.
Full joke.
Yeah.
No clapping.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so most of the federal government is poised as of this time of recording. It is Thursday, January 29th. Most of the government is poised to have a partial shutdown by Saturday, unless Congress passes legislation to keep it open. So, how did we get here? Why am I talking about this when I'm actually supposed to be talking about
It
this?
kind of feels like deja vu.
I know, it really does. I'm supposed to be talking about a whole different story, but there is a purpose here. Method to the madness. So some very, very, very brief background. On January 24th, Democratic support for funding the government basically eroded. There was enough key people who needed to cast a vote in favor of the spending package that the government was going to be passing this week, seemingly inevitably. And eroded. And the reason that this happened is because the spending package that they were ready to vote on would have set aside $64.4 billion or so for the Department of Homeland Security, including $10 billion for immigration and customs enforcement, or ICE. But following the killing of a Minneapolis resident, Alex Preddy, last weekend by ICE officers there in the operation that is taking place over there that has been followed in the news quite extensively now. Democrats have demanded new guardrails and reforms for ICE, and the outlook is looking pretty grim. They're still at work. They, as of the 29th, are trying to work things out and try to see or find a path forward to funding the government before the deadline. But it is looking a little tough to see that happen. So, anyway, we've obviously covered a shutdown on the pod before. The last one, in fact, which was when did that end? Just a couple of months ago, and it was the longest in American history,
Yeah.
as you all may remember.
Hence deja vu.
Hence deja vu. Hence the deja vu. Absolutely. So for farmers heading into the 2026 growing season now, with little financial cushion as it is, I don't think I need to tell you folks that. Another prospective pause in USDA payments, stalled loan approvals, frozen conservation or disaster assistance program payouts, discontinued federal support, all of these things, right, that farmers really need, could deepen the ongoing strain tenfold, very, very much, and turn what was already kind of set up to be a difficult, potentially year into an unimaginable one. And this, Liz, is where we find our corn growers, at this kind of moment in time right now, among all of our course, our farmer folks. But corn growers this is actually pertaining to the story that I wrote for the paper this week. So here's kind of where I'm going to segue into that. Okay, because inside the funding package that was very so nearly close to being voted on and close to the finish line, it was going to be voted on this week. There was a provision in there originally that would have allowed nationwide year-round sales of ethanol-blended E15 gasoline. And that was going to be there, and it was seen as a really big victory. It was so close. It was a tremendous effort that had been done to bring this provision, to put it in the spending bill and to see it pass. And then it was stripped instead from the bill in the U.S. House of Representatives at the last minute, kind of without much fanfare, dealing a blow to corn growers who say, and I talked to a couple of them who said that they might unravel without the support from this measure, really. There was lots of months of legislative work to get to that point, to have it be done. And cooperation across the aisle, bipartisan cooperation, in fact, to see it done. Congress balked at the end, and instead announced the creation of what they've called a new, quote, Rural Domestic Energy Council, end quote. And that will develop potential legislative proposals on E15 going forward and other renewable fuels issues that could be considered for future advancement into law. But corn growers had obviously a lot to say about that. Among the things that you will see on my story, which I think is on page 8 somewhere. It's inside the paper somewhere. So read everything else first and then find your way there, of course. But anyway, I heard it described as essentially like kicking a can down the road instead of like, actually doing something actionable. But yeah, so lots of things to say about what the future holds, to who they blame. And meanwhile, all of this is happening as farmers are finding out that they really can't tighten their belts anymore, just all across the whole of agriculture in America. So it's a lot. There is an update also, though, on the internet version of this article that is not in the print paper because some things happened after we went to press. You can read the print paper or print article in the paper, but you should also check out the update online on farmandDairy.com. Thank you.
Yeah, check it out, everyone.
Yeah.
Well, Paul, on the front page of paper this week,
Indeed.
we have another bird flu update.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, so
Oh.
bird flu is entering its 4th year, at least the current outbreak.
That's
the
not
most
a happy
recent one.
birthday.
It's not a happy birthday. No, it's not. And experts are becoming increasingly more concerned about the virus's ability to jump to animals that aren't birds. And that's according to contributing writer Patrick Cooley.
Okay.
Bird flu poses a particular threat to dairy cattle. It's been found in cattle detected in California, Texas, and Wisconsin already. And according to Brian Balderich, the director of the Ohio Department of Agriculture, pasteurization kills the virus, which means that it's not possible for humans to catch bird flu from drinking milk, but it still can, really disrupt cattle.
Yeah.
Pigs can also get infected by the disease as they have a similar respiratory tract similar to birds. And wild birds have also been hit very badly, with 70 black vultures suspected to have died in Clermont County, Ohio, and 400 snow geese deaths in Erie County, Pennsylvania, due to bird flu. So to me, that's even like a huge concern. How do you manage bird flu in wild bird populations, right? Which is obviously part of the struggle and why it's so prevalent.
Yeah.
Good news, though, is that widespread human infections of disease isn't really much of a concern yet, though people, mostly those working directly with infected animals, have gotten sick. Unfortunately, most experts agree bird flu will continue to spread again this year. We're not going to really see it stop. It's going to keep spreading. The disease actually spreads from wild birds to poultry and broiler chickens during migration seasons in spring and fall. Research are looking into some possible solutions to combat the disease, including a recently awarded $2 million grant for West Virginia University to develop an edible vaccine.
Oh,
Really
nice.
interesting. Edible vaccine, never really heard. Not very common, I guess.
That's neat.
But vaccination has its own challenges as well, much to do with just like the trade policy behind vaccinating animals. So the story includes more details about bird flu, including this like kind of trade debate with vaccines, and also what farmers can do to continue to prevent bird flu. But to know all of that, you will have to read the story on the front page of the paper this week to get that little update.
Yeah.
So yeah, go check it out. Stay informed
Definitely.
about what's going on. So
Yeah. Okay. Well, is it back to me now?
Yep.
All right. Well, once again, for our auction cover this week inside the paper, we have a beautiful infographic created by our very own in-house graphic design wizard, David Hartong. Give it up for David. Yeah. Thank you, David.
Yeah. He's
It
so
is
good.
really nice.
Yeah, he really is so good at doing
Yeah,
that.
I love when we have these. So welcome, everyone, one and all, to Winter Salt Week.
Oh, yeah.
Yay! I remarked as I walked into the office today because there's salt everywhere, and it just said, "My goodness, like I just wish I could do something with all of this salt. I just
Yeah.
wish there was a handy guide to tell
You know
me
what I
what
also
to do."
realized, and I'm sure
Yes.
you're going to get to this because salt has a lot of like bad problems with water quality,
Right.
which is hence the part of it, which I
Indeed.
love the infographic. I read it all the
Yes.
way through.
Right.
But for dogs too, I realized salt can be problematic for dogs because if the salt gets in their paws, it can really irritate
You're
them
so
when they're
right.
walking, and you're gonna have to get them out because if they start picking and biting at their paws, and the skin, the fur is
Ow.
gonna start falling off.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's like another unknown, maybe little tip you probably have to watch out for if you're walking your dog,
Yeah.
specifically on the road. I mean, if you're walking your dog in the snow, it's totally fine. Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna have salt in your yard.
Right.
But yeah, just a little side note there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for
anyways.
that. That's a good important tip.
Yeah.
Well, the dogs that we got to watch out for the puppies. So
Watch out for the puppies. Yeah.
absolutely. So Winter Salt Week. Every winter, salt, as we know, helps keeps the roads, the sidewalks clear. and safe to traverse for cars and people to get where they need to go. Very, very important. We do appreciate salt for that reason. But what happens after the snow melts? Well, the salt we spread actually ages roads and bridges quite rapidly and degrades freshwater lakes, streams, drinking water sources, where it can linger for decades. That is nuts. Salt can still be an effective de-icer, but more is not always better. So during Winter Salt Week, recognized this year from January 26th to January 30th, communities across the country are working to raise awareness and reduce salt pollution by using smarter winter maintenance practices. Very, very cool. That protect both people and water. There is a lot of info jam packed into the auction guide. It is very, very full. I did a lot of Googling to find all of the things that David so beautifully illustrated. So be sure to check it out and then tack it on your refrigerators. Yeah, also, there was some chatter online about the infographic, and some people were insinuating that there are like secret salt piles
Mhm.
of things,
Yeah.
like hidden and that are like causing pollution. And I would very much like to know more information about that. I would like to uncover these secret salt piles that the EPA would be interested in knowing. I don't know. There was lots of conversation and chatter about these online, but the infographic and salt. So please reach out to me. Uh, find my contact information on the website. Thank you.
Yeah.
I would like to know. So
Yeah.
yeah,
We want all the juicy gossip,
yeah, right.
or the implications,
Indeed.
I
Yeah.
should say. But
Thank you.
yeah, no, seriously though, that infographic I really loved. Had
Thank
a
you.
lot of
Yes, David.
really
Yes.
useful like stuff that you just don't really think about. It
Yes.
just goes into play like
Mhm.
all of the things that are kind of harmful that you don't really think are harmful,
Yeah.
but like also like necessary.
Right. Even like
Um,
animals, like they have a salt, like a nutritional requirement,
yeah,
and like they sometimes meet it from going onto the roads. But like that also brings these animals into contact with motorists, and
yeah.
so it's like a whole like
Yeah.
bad
That's why it's
cycle.
so cool about that you just touched on so many things in the
Yeah.
infographic. I
Yeah.
thought it was very well done. So yeah, very huge. Everybody go check it out. You will learn a lot of information,
So much.
important information.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a great segue to
Segue.
talk about our topic today.
Let's do it.
So let's do it. Awesome.
Awesome.
So Paul, how are you dealing with this extreme cold and weather we've had this last week? Especially Sunday. Man, Sunday was wild.
um. Well, I think much like at least my fellow Ohioans, we're certainly trying to manage. Um, I can tell you that my, as I've spoken very much of on this podcast, my beloved old station wagon does not love this weather. And um, last night, in preparation for today, I dug the car out of like all of the snow that has fallen. Recently, we've gotten like also the big snow events, but then also like the lake effect kind of situation and events. So we are bamboozled and buried over in Cleveland town. And oh, it has been a real trying effort. I think I have shoveled the driveway 6 times
Yeah.
at this point in the past like week. I'm pretty sure it is up
Yeah.
there. And that is tiring also.
It's a gym workout. Like, no need to go to
Oh
the gym
yes.
this week when it snows
Right.
because
Yes. Oh
that's A, too difficult to get there in these conditions. But then
yes.
also, shoveling snow is just, wow, that's more, especially when you get a lot of snow and the
Mm-hmm.
snow's like heavy. Then
Yeah.
you have to go multiple times a day because if you don't go out multiple times a day, then
Mhm.
it just is even harder if you do it all in one
Yeah. Yeah.
setting.
Awful.
Yeah.
Impossible. Yes. I in the midst of all of the activity, the snow activity, all of that, my furnace just kind of like stopped operating.
Oh,
It
no.
was like, what? And so we'd have to restart it every like 20 minutes. It was maddening. And
Man,
so on Monday, we actually did not come in the office on Monday. We worked remotely
thank
because
God.
of it was
Yeah.
still like that morning was, just there was more snow and more snow. But that previous night, like Monday, early Monday morning, like from midnight to like 6:30, I got up every couple hours just to every like 2 hours or so to make sure that I would turn the furnace back on because I thought the pipes would freeze if I didn't do that. And then it just like started working, and then someone came to look at it, and they were just like, "There's nothing wrong with that." And it was like they spent a long time diagnosing it and observing it. Like they were very thorough, but it just didn't suddenly stop working, and I was like, ah.
Hmm.
So it was a lot. How are you doing?
I'm trying to enjoy it, to be honest,
Yes, yeah,
because like
that's the way to be.
yeah, like I did shovel a lot,
Yeah.
as well.
Mhm.
Like I went out in 3 days. I went out 4 times to shovel
Ugh,
snow.
yes,
So,
yeah.
but my dog, she's
Mm.
a yellow lab. She
Mm.
loves the snow.
Yay! I
So
love that.
I've been really trying to enjoy it with her. She really loves snowballs. We throw
Oh,
snowballs
good.
at her.
Yeah,
The snow has to be kind of like older though
yeah,
for like this, for them
right.
to be able to roll into balls. But no, I've been having a lot of fun just playing around with her
Mhm.
in the snow this week. Um, yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to like just keep warm and make a lot of hot
Yeah.
beverages and stuff. Um, I did recently discover, which is something maybe might be in the paper next week, who knows. But my friend, she lives in Wisconsin, and
Mhm.
it gets even colder there. And they actually had an extreme weather alert last weekend because it was getting down to -40 wind
Oh
chill.
my
Yeah,
goodness.
that's what I mean. Like it's super cold there,
Yeah.
way colder than here. 'Cause she also lives by Lake Michigan,
Okay.
and so
Oh.
she gets the lake effect too. But
Yeah.
she's more north, by
Yeah.
By Canada, kind
Ugh.
of. And they had an exploding tree alert, which I've been seeing a lot about exploding
I
trees.
have too.
So yeah, that's what we might be writing about that
Oh,
because
neat.
it's interesting.
Oh,
I
I'm
also
glad to
think,
hear
side
that.
note, and I feel like you could agree with me on
Mhm.
this, that would be a really cool band name.
Exploding
The
trees. Yeah, that would
Exploding
be
Trees,
cool.
like a really heavy metal rock
Yeah, we
band
are
name.
exploding
Exploding
trees.
Trees,
Yeah.
yeah. But I guess the last thing I'll say about this extreme weather is that even though it's like really cold, if you have a nature space, I feel like it's a really great time to get out and just take a snow walk.
Yeah.
This weekend, actually, I'll be up in Johnstown, which is a bit closer to central Pennsylvania. But I got a call from my grandma, and she was like, "Liz, you better bring cold clothing, warm clothing, because you're going snowmobiling."
Oh, no.
No questions asked. She's just like, "Yeah, you're doing this. You've been committed." So
What the heck?
I will be
That's
going
fun.
snowmobiling this weekend, and
Nice.
probably a lot in the snow. And I encourage all of everybody to do that, even though it can be a little
Yeah.
daunting. I do think it's good to like try and enjoy these weather conditions when
Right.
we have them. Obviously, when it's safe to,
Yeah.
if it's like negative temperatures, like don't go outside,
Yeah.
don't be outside for too long. But if it's like reasonable temperatures and you're dressed appropriately, like try to enjoy it because
Mhm.
I feel like it every winter it like depends. Are we going to get snow? We're not going to get snow. Some winters,
Yeah.
like I feel like last winter we didn't really get snow at all. This winter we're getting a decent amount, which I'm kind of happy about.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah.
Makes me feel like there's some normacy to
Mhm.
winter now
Yeah.
again. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just my whole ethos is I'm trying to enjoy it,
Yeah.
enjoy it more than kind of detest it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, good for you.
yeah.
That's the attitude to have.
If I lost heat, I would be a completely
Oh,
different
it's
story. Then I would
devastating.
be like detesting the
Yeah.
cold weather.
And they
But
were
I
like, "Well,
hadn't, so
you should have left it off because then I could read the error code that it produced for not working, but then like because you restarted it, it wiped the error code." And I was like, "I'm sorry, were we all supposed to freeze to
yeah,
death?"
but
Like
say, well, oh, you're supposed to leave it off, so you just freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
what?
like, "No,
Sucks.
I'm sorry. And I don't agree
Yeah,
with that." So
that's wild.
yeah.
Well, I hope you don't have any more problems,
It's
because
been knock on wood.
yeah,
It's been that was a nice hard knock.
yeah, that really was. That was a good knock.
But I'm serious. It has worked very much, and we're not pushing it. I think our temperature is set to like 68 or something.
Yeah.
Like we're not trying to get tropical or
Just
anything
using
with it.
blankets, and
Yeah,
hopefully
yeah.
you're making and eating some soup
Oh
and
yes,
stuff.
there is plenty
So
of chili.
yeah,
So yeah,
love
my
that.
house. Hmm.
So good. So all right, well, back to news. Cool.
Cool.
Well, if you don't mind, I think I will kick us off a little here.
Take it away.
Still pretty early in on the year.
Mhm.
And contributing writer Jake Zakowski gives readers a 2026 ag outlook for Ohio farmers in the front page of the paper this week. In the past few months, farmers have, faced a lot of challenges, particularly soybean producers, as we know. Farmers have, they have had challenges and difficulty of selling their soybeans after
Yeah.
the trade war between the Trump administration and China. Fortunately, a deal has been reached in January where China purchased a $12 million soybean order, or 12 million tons, sorry, soybean order. But, this was way lower than normal. In 2024, export capacity was 26.8 ton, which makes last year the weakest order since 2018.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of challenges there. But meanwhile, soybeans account for 35% of Ohio's ag export value. So a large chunk of Ohio ag is made up of, soybeans. So this has really led the Ohio Soybean Council to think really outside of the box and come up with new markets for soybeans. Part of looking at new markets will be soybean used as ag feedstock. So they're really kind of trying to explore different avenues. Zukowski also touches on last summer's drought conditions, which we've covered a lot in the paper, and what this really means for farmers this year. So according to an OSU state climatologist, drought continues to persist in counties along the Maumee River, but improvements have been made in parts of southern Ohio, West Virginia, southwest PA as well.
Okay.
And he says what we really need this winter is soil moisture recharge in January, February, and March. That's really important. It'll kind of ease farmers' concerns moving into spring. Zukowski also discusses challenges in beef and dairy farming, including rising prices of feed, livestock, and labor, as well as new and exciting fair and OSU changes coming in 2026, one of which you just attended, the multiple,
Yes.
the animal species
A
learning
milk.
lab.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to read more about the 2026 Ag Outlook, what you farmers can expect or, estimated to be seen in this year, you can check out the front page of the paper or go online at farmanddairy.com.
Wonderful. Well,
Yeah.
cool.
You want to send us off, Paul?
I can. Yes, I have some very exciting news to share. Are you ready to go back to Titanic?
Yes. This is my little girl screaming.
So that's what Brock Lovett, played by the late and great Bill Paxton, asked Gloria Stewart's 101-year-old Rose as she regales them with her epic tale about love and disaster on the cold Atlantic Ocean. You remember what the old lady dropped into the ocean at the end of the movie, but there's so much more to discover at Titanic, the artifact exhibition. Opening May 21st of this year through January 18th of next year at the Great Lakes Science Center in Cleveland, Ohio. So let me tell you, Liz, I will be the first in line to go to this, and I will probably never return
'cause
again.
You're a huge Titanic stan,
Oh,
aren't
big one.
you?
I actually
Like,
forgot.
fan.
I forgot the necklace. I have the necklace. I went down.
Oh, you like memorabilia too.
Oh,
That's
yes,
sick.
yes,
That's
yes.
awesome.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Titanic is, in fact, my all-favorite movie since I was the darling age of 6, and I saw it in my divorced aunt's house when my mom left me
6?
there.
Oh my
yes.
God.
Oh, yes. And it was back then, because I'm ancient, I'm as old as the trees. You had to watch it on 2 VHS. It came as a 2
Oh my God, I
VHS
remember
tape.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it would, like, the movie's so long that it would, like, break, like, as the ship hits the ice. Oh, spoiler alert.
Oh, yeah. Oops, if you didn't know that.
As the ship hits the iceberg, and then it would be like, insert tape 2
Yeah.
to continue the journey. Like, and then there was the sinking.
Did you ever see it in theaters?
I have seen it in theaters like 3 or 4 times.
Oh,
Yes. Yeah.
that's
I go
cool.
every
That's
time it's
awesome.
available. I'm like,
Yeah.
I will be there. But this will be the first time that I've ever gone to any experience like this. And let me tell you what makes it like really special. So me, along with the other guests who are going to be at this exhibit, but mostly me, I'm most of all the most enthusiastic person about this, we'll have the opportunity to get up and close and personal with 200 authentic artifacts that have been recovered from the wreck site.
Wow.
Really cool.
Awesome.
Yes, that tell the story of this famous ocean liner and her passengers and crew, as well as take in, this is insane, life-size reconstructions of the ship's most famous rooms and climb aboard the most historically accurate Titanic virtual reality experience ever.
Wow. That's so cool.
This is the single most detailed and comprehensive visual tour of virtual reality tour of the Titanic ever created, including areas of the ship that were previously inaccessible to the public. Because I would have been third class, so I definitely, had I been on board, so I would not have been seeing much on the.
Yeah, maybe you'd be like Jack and
Maybe.
some, dashing person
Yeah,
would,
right. Right.
take an interest in you and invite you up.
That's it. That's it. We can only wonder.
Yeah.
So this is the only way you will ever get closer to having an experience like this is if you have $1 billion and you give it to a guy who pilots his homemade submersible to the wreck steered by a PC video game controller, which the Titan submersible did in fact have. This is a true fact. I looked it up last night to confirm because there were memes about this when the Titan submersible imploded in 2023.
Yeah, I'll say that is Did you watch a documentary about
I
that?
need to
Oh
say, I
my,
was
you
gonna talk to
should.
you about that because I
I
need
just
to.
watched it
Yeah,
recently.
Stockton Rush.
Wow.
So
Wow.
interesting.
He really just
Yeah.
was such like a
Yes.
narcissist.
Yes.
Like,
Insane.
and
Yes.
yeah, you should definitely watch
Yeah.
that. I'd love to
I don't know
talk
why
about.
I'm like saving it, but yes, I do need. I was
Yeah.
like, as I wrote this, I was like, oh my god, I need to watch this documentary.
Yeah.
But anyway, yes, because there was like a meme of the controller like on the bottom of the ocean,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
was
Xbox
and it's
controller.
literally, and I was like, I play
Like
video
this
games,
Xbox controller, your life is in the hands
Right.
of this Xbox
right?
controller.
And it was like the controller was like a $30 or $40 like Logitech controller that you can buy now on Amazon because it is used to play video games usually and not pilot private submersibles. So anyway, that really did happen. I don't think the picture of it on the bottom of the ocean is real. I think that was AI, but it actually did pilot his control. Anyway,
That's
so
wild.
fascinating. The exhibition at the Science Center will also include this is very interesting. Will also include stories of passengers with ties to the state of Ohio.
Mm.
Neat.
Cool.
Offering kind of a meaningful local perspective on Titanic's legacy. See you all there.
Yeah. Wow. So it's fun. I did go to one Titanic exhibit. They
Oh,
have
nice.
one in Tennessee. I think it was. I don't know. It was somewhere in Tennessee. I think.
Yeah. It's like you like they have like a almost life-size recreation of the ship.
It was an actual museum. Yeah, there's like a
yeah.
life size. Yeah, there was like
It's
but
really
I did,
big. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
that's
did get
cool.
to like walk up the grand staircase. I got to take a picture with
That's
my
so
mom. We both went.
cool. I
And then
love
I got
that.
to like put my hand in like the water. That was crazy.
And it was like
yeah,
negative 18,000
like
degrees.
the temperature of what the people
Oh,
would have been. Yeah.
Cannot imagine.
And that really like gets you in the mindset of like, holy crap, like this would have been awful way
Yes.
to die, because even just putting your hand in there, you can barely keep it in there for
Yeah.
so long.
Ugh.
So that was really cool. I don't know how like many artifacts they had. So like this one probably would be a little, sounds a bit more like bigger.
I'm so excited.
But it was still really fun. So yeah, that sounds exciting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Well, everyone, that is our top stories for the week.
To read more, you know the drill. Go pick up a paper right now or visit farmanddairy.com.
Yeah, and thanks for tuning in, guys, and we will see you next week.
Bye.